Okay, we're going to look at how to enroll students into a course using groups and group keys, then give them access, depending which group they belong to a specific Moodle resource or activity. So for example, student A, who belongs to group A, sees resource 1 but not resource 2, and student B, who belongs to group B, sees resource 2 but not resource 1. So what does it look like for student A? Let's have a look. So here I am logged in as student A, and as you can see, all I can see is resource 1. Doing this kind of work is really useful for teachers because they can share a single Moodle course and specifically allow groups access to resources or activities which are meaningful and suit their needs, which is really good for collaboration. So how does a student B enroll into this course? Let's have a look. So here I am logged in as a student B. The teacher has given the student access to the umbrella course for business administration, and this umbrella course provides links to the different Moodle courses that the student would be enrolled in. When prompted by the teacher, student B clicks on the appropriate course, and because the teacher has configured the groups for the course with an enrollment key, student B is prompted for a password. In this case here, I'm going to give him access to group B, and as a consequence the teacher has configured resource 2 to only be visible to students who belong to group B. So how does a teacher actually set the groups and configure the resources and activities for students to see? So here I am logged in as a teacher, an editing teacher that is, and you can tell that because there's an editing button up here on the right. You can also have non-editing teachers, so I want you to notice the difference whenever we view what a non-editing teacher sees. The non-editing teacher sees all the resources or activities that exist within the course, except they don't get to see that extra information associated with the resources, saying which grouping the resource belongs to, and they can't edit the course to be able to add anything. Now, the very first thing that an editing teacher would have to do would be to create groups. If we scroll down here to the administration block and we click on groups, you can see that I have group A with test student A in it, group B with test student B in it, and they have just enrolled straight into that group. And then here we have a new group. And creating groups is very, very easy. You just go create group, and whenever you do so, you'll be prompted to put in a group name it anything that you want, and put in some contextual information for the group. You know what teacher is associated with the group, and which groupings that group is allowed to access. And down here you'll see an enrollment key. Make it nice and easy to remember. Now if I go back to groups here, I've mentioned groupings. Groupings is the thing that allows us to configure which resources or activities these here groups are allowed access to. So let's click on this groupings tab, and you'll see I've got three groupings here: grouping A, grouping B, and grouping C. So any resources or activities that I assign grouping A to, only people in group A can see, and any resources or activities I assign grouping C to, only people in group A or group C can see them. Let's have a look at what that actually means. So I'll just turn editing on. So if I go and I add another resource, in this case here resource 3, and I'll just put in a dummy link. So at the bottom of a resource or an activity in Moodle, you'll likely see the ability to choose available for group members only. And if you've set up your groupings properly, you'll see them come down here as a list. In this case here, this link is going to be available for people who belong to grouping C. As you can see. And if we go down to groups, groupings, you'll see grouping C here, and students who belong to Group A and Group C will be able to see those resources. So what do you think a student who belongs to Group A will see, given that they belong to Grouping A, Grouping C? Let's have a look. So here you can see that the student A, because they have been given access to Grouping C, sees not only Resource 1, which has Grouping A on it, but Resource 3, which is Grouping C on it. So you really have fine control over how you enable access for students to resources and activities within a single course based on how you enroll them into groups, and then allocate those groups to groupings, and then allocate those groupings to the resources and activities that you add to the course.